Hello everyone, my name is Anthony Saman. I'm from Beirut, Lebanon, and this is my story. Like many Lebanese people, I grew up elsewhere. We had a civil war here that lasted for 15 years from 1975 till 1990. So my family, like many others, found a life for themselves elsewhere. In my case, it was in Lagos, Nigeria. Having been born in London, my family had already built a life in Nigeria. So I grew up there, and I was raised in a neighborhood called Apapa, which was kind of considered a rough neighborhood, but that's where my love and passion for music started. I lived at my grandmother's house, which was next door to a brothel. And almost every night, there was a live performance by a band there. They would be playing tributes to Bob Marley or Fela Kuti, and I would always peek through the window to listen to them or to watch what they were doing. Nigeria was my home until the age of 17, and then I moved to Lebanon, and I'd barely even known anything about my country before I moved here. After I graduated with a degree in advertising when I was 23, I started working at a telecommunications company. It had nothing to do with what I studied, but I learned it, and I found my way working in there. It used to drive me crazy, but at night I used to DJ at a bar, and that's where all of this began. I would always play music by bands that nobody really knew. I would go on these crazy searches on the internet to find bands from all over the world, to find artists nobody's ever heard of, even local Lebanese artists that nobody even thought of playing at bars, and I would see that people would actually be reacting positively to this. And I was young at the time, I was 23, 24 years old, so I didn't really know what was going to come out of this. But I had an absolute passion for discovering new artists and new music that nobody in Lebanon is familiar with. Stuck in a feeling, stuck in a feeling, yeah, people, stuck in a feeling. As I progressed with my day job, I ended up getting a job offer to move to Switzerland, in Lugano. I went there, spent a few months, and then I got a better offer to move to Spain, and I went to Madrid. But during that entire time, I knew deep in me that this is not what I was meant to do. I hated my job. So it wasn't long before that drive within me to start my own thing led to me quitting my job, coming back to Beirut, and creating the project that is now known as Beirut Jam Sessions.
إياك التطوس بالعروش الطغيان يزاهر عصيان لو رح أموت 100 مرة رح أعود 100 مرة مسقول الحسام أتصفى جيشا يشبهني نلتحم ببعض ونستعصي بقوم عليه مش حيقدر لي ما بتقدر على قلبي مش حتقدر لي.
Born out of my love for discovering new artists, with a few friends we decided to create this project. On one hand, it would be organizing concerts, bringing international artists to Lebanon, and having a local act always support them. And on the other hand, what ended up becoming our unique selling point was we created a channel whereby the international artist, the local artist, and sometimes both of them together would feature jamming some of their songs all around the country. We would film this in a unique way, which would shine a positive light on Lebanon. We knew that people would not see Lebanon like this. We knew that artists would not be able to perform like this, but we always made sure we took them out of their comfort zones. And because of that, we were able to grow this channel and to have so many artists perform on it, whether it's in a bus, in a cable car, on a rooftop, in a garage, in a taxi, sitting on trees, at the beach, you name it, we've done it. By doing this, we've actually had the chance to work with a lot of international artists and a lot of big names that we probably would never have had the chance to work with. People like Joss Stone, Keziah Jones, Aziz Maraka, and so many more. I believe it's been important for Beirut to have access to such music. Promoting culture, our country, and the exchange between artists is something we're really proud of. Without any funding and just sometimes getting sponsors, we've been able to do so much by pure drive. For our concerts, we've kept the ticket prices low so that it can be affordable for everyone. We've introduced audiences to new artists either through our concerts or through our sessions on our channel. So this really boosted the emergence of some local artists. Our channel's wide reach has meant that local artists have now reached an international audience that they probably would never have reached if they didn't appear on our channel. For a long period of time, I was personally the manager of many local artists. Sometimes I would manage them on a day-to-day basis. Sometimes with other acts, I'll be the booking agent.
Open ears and open eyes.
Today, I don't manage artists like I used to, but I do work with them on a consultancy basis. But overall, I was able to get many of them to perform outside Lebanon. Actually, I've worked on over 200 concerts of Lebanese artists outside Lebanon, and this is something that not many people had ever done before. Normally, Lebanese artists don't necessarily come to mind when festivals or venues around the world are thinking of who they want to book, but I would like to believe that the hard work that we've done as Beirut Jam Sessions and that I've done with some of the artists has led to that change at least. Today we have a good contact database that allows us to reach out to people to promote our artists and to promote the local scene here. On top of this, thanks to my work with Beirut Jam Sessions, I've been working as well with the Byblos International Festival. It's one of the biggest festivals in the Middle East that accommodates approximately 50 to 60,000 people per summer and has hosted some of the biggest names in world music like Elton John, Sia, John Legend, The Script. It has a much more commercial feel to it, but it definitely has been an unbelievable experience for me. With the festival, I'm in charge of communication, promotion, artist management, logistics. It's a small team, but we do a lot of work. Between the concerts we organize for Beirut Jam Sessions, the videos we film, the work at Byblos Festival, the work I've done with local artists, the tours I've done with local artists, I feel I've had a privilege to work with some of the coolest people out there, and I really can't wait to do it again.
So let the liquid spirit free them. Folk out thirsty 'cause a man's a natural hand. What happens when the people just win? The water getting the bank. I'm at a hard dry land. Hey.
However, these past 8 months have been incredibly difficult. In August 2019, we faced a lot of trouble with Byblos Festival. One of the bands scheduled to perform at the festival, Mashroua Layla, were threatened. Religious groups actually started sending death threats to the band and to the festival because they believed that one of the songs by the band were against religious beliefs. Obviously, this isn't true because the band had been performing this song numerous times before in the country and at the festival. So it created the beginning of what I consider to be a very dark spot in Lebanon. Ultimately, the band and the festival agreed it was best not to move forward with this performance. For me, I consider it to be something super sad because this band are one of the best bands the region has ever seen, and they're dear friends to us because they've performed numerous times at the festival and because on a personal level, they are our friends. But nobody could have predicted what was going to happen next. A couple of months later, in October 2019, a revolution started in Beirut. This revolution gave us hope. It gave us unbelievable moments that I don't think we could have ever imagined that we would see in our lifetime. The people took to the streets, and Lebanon showed its beautiful face. But Lebanon also showed its ugly face, and the economic crisis that was looming over us was accelerated and has gotten worse ever since. Bars, venues, restaurants, so many places are just closing down because they can't sustain anymore. Our currency is currently devaluing at an unprecedented rate, and it's causing even more riots. But the crazy thing is, because of the coronavirus, COVID-19, this has made things even more difficult.
Hundreds of thousands who work in the services sector may lose their jobs. Hundreds of businesses have already shut down in recent months. Many are worried the virus could be the final blow.
We were thinking to close in March, and then we were like, okay, let's do a personal effort and work on it. And then Corona came, and we had we had 5 employees, and they are all now at home, and we don't even know if we should pay them or not.
But if there's one thing you should know about Lebanese people, is that we're very resilient, we're creative, and from a personal point of view, I won't give up on what I've started. Over the past 6 weeks, with the lockdown happening all over the world, every week on our Beirut Jam Sessions Instagram page, we've actually had 18 artists from around the world performing live to our audience. In an attempt to cheer people up, we've had already 98 artists and counting from 17 different countries perform on our Instagram page, including an artist from South Korea as well. This brings me back to what made me start the project in the first place. The platform is allowing people again to discover new artists they probably would never have heard of. Thank you for having me. A big special thank you to Professor Lee for always considering me for these projects and for these presentations. I really hope that I'll be able to come back to Korea one day. It's a place that I really absolutely fell in love with last year. And I hope that you, your families, your friends, and everyone is safe and in good health. I believe there's better days ahead. We just have to be really patient and to support each other. Thank you again. Stay tuned. Meet me on Beirut Jam Sessions Instagram page and take care.